I just got back from a friend and family get together, and I was going to wait to film tomorrow, but there's just so many prompts to catch up on that I'm just gonna try to makeup's all messed up because I keep rubbing my eyes. I'm just gonna try to knock out these prompts when I can. So the next prompt is darkness, and I saw a great video about darkness done by Ivy, and Ivy the occultist. So I don't really have anything more that I wanted to add. Like, she did a very thorough video, and maybe I should link her video below, so hopefully I can remember to do that. But I think I'll just talk about what comes to mind, just blank, from a blank slate. Am I even making sense? I don't know. I've had a couple of glasses of wine, so so when I think about darkness, I think about the unknown, and I think about the fear attached to the unknown, which is why a lot of people have fear of darkness, because it is unknown. Like, it's not so much like the association with something like black versus something that is white in terms of like color, because if we're talking about color, then white isn't technically a color. But I don't mean color, I mean like darkness is not empty either, but something that you simply cannot fully absorb by looking at it. It needs to be explored with other senses than just like a visual sense, because can you smell red? Can you taste red? But you can see red. So darkness is more of like using the other senses to understand what that thing is. Another thing that comes to mind when I think about darkness is the negative connotation that it has, or it carries, in general. Like, people don't usually use the word dark to express something that brings them joy. I'm not saying that it doesn't, I'm just saying that typically they don't use that word to express something that is joyful. And then the last thing that I think about with darkness is shadow work, because it just does. It just does. And I've done quite a bit of shadow work myself. Without speaking on the definition of what shadow work is, I think that there are so many ways to do shadow work, and if we're just going to use the Jungian definition for shadow work, then in that sense of the word, I want to say I've definitely embarked on that journey, officially, in the last couple of years. Unofficially, I want to say over a decade. I think all forms of seeking those shadows within oneself for self-improvement, because it's hard for me to see how it wouldn't be for self-improvement. I guess if you're not in a good place mentally, then it would take you down a dark path. Yeah, for lack of better terms, maybe a not so joyful path, a not so great path, a very unexpected path with maybe unexpected results or non-desired results. Yeah, the word darkness, it's a beautiful word because of what it means, but it's also one that carries so much weight with it that the word light does not. And it's just something that I think needs to be explored a little further by all of us, and maybe then we'll understand ourselves better. If we're more accepting of the word, then maybe we'd be more accepting of our own darker or shadow parts. And then maybe we could be a little more accepting of others' darker and more shadowy parts. So yeah, that's what I have for darkness. So the next prompt that I have is in the forest. Yeah, in the forest. And when I think of in the forest, I think about wilderness, specifically mountains. I don't technically live like next to mountains, but it's like, I don't know, maybe like a 45-ish minute drive to mountains. So that's pretty nice. I think that I'd call myself fortunate for that. And in the forest, I feel small. In the forest, I feel like all the little dumb things that I stress about, that I worry about from my day to day, don't matter. I feel like the world's size is so much bigger than when I'm just in my room worrying about, smaller things. So I love to be in the forest for that reason. It really lets me realize how small we are as people and how silly we can be with the things that we worry about. I also feel like time runs differently when I'm in the forest, or maybe the forest does not prescribe or subscribe itself to human time. It's like, it's not that it's slower and it's not that it's faster, it's just different. It's like if you entered a liminal space, almost like you entered a different realm where time is not necessarily a factor. And it's like the closest I think that I could get to feeling like I was inside of a book, like an epic fantasy novel. It's a very beautiful, beautiful feeling. Next prompt. So the next prompt is incense. And I think about smoke. I think about the element of air. I think about it being a purifier. I think about it being an eradicator. I think that it is such a great way to cleanse, to charge, to bless, but then also to like smell good. And I have a very strong olfactory sense. I don't know if I would say that it's like, I don't think I would say that I have it developed in a supernatural way, but my nose is a really good nose. I can smell things from really, really far away distance. It's very irritating sometimes to be able to smell the things that I can smell. But so I think I'll talk about like my go-to incense. So I would be lying if I said that I have this like amazing custom blend I use every time, because I don't. But there is one that is my go-to, like packs a punch, strong and powerful incense, and that is copal. In English, I think it's copal. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but I know in Spanish it's copal. And that one is a very, very powerful cleanser for me. And it's also very dominantly used in the Mexican culture. So I want to say, if I'm gonna like tell you like my go-to blend, like the one that I've used the most, it would be copal incense, or resin actually, on a charcoal disc. And then depending on how I feel, I may use some herbs, maybe sometimes some rosemary. I really like using rosemary on that. And, or some little bit crushed up bay leaves or basil, depending on correspondences for me and my feelings on that day. And then also a few drops of some intention oil, based on the intention for the burning. It changes if it's for cleansing versus for charging something, but usually copal, if it's being burnt, it's meant to clear some type of energies. That's how I like to use it. So that's kind of like my go-to incense. It would be mainly resin, but I do love incense, and I do have incense sticks. I actually have them all over the house because I like to use them in the bathroom. So instead of using like the aerosol sprays in the bathroom, I have a bunch of incense sticks in there. The scents that are my favorite to use, there's a couple different ones, but I think one of the most common like companies that you can get it from, Satya. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but there's a scent called Pyramids. It's an orange box. I love that one. There is another one. I don't know what it's called, but it's the same company, and it has like, I think like a forest or greenery painted on it, and it smells so good. It's like a sweet scent, but it's incense, so it's not like crazy sweet. And then I have Nag Champa, but that one is used for a specific occasion or reason. And then there's another one, and I don't remember what that one's called, but the box is black and it has like the zodiac signs on it, I think. That one's another one of my favorites. Then there's another incense brand that I found at a local shop, and I think they also sell it on Amazon. And there's like 3 different ones that I really like from there, and one of them's called like a forest something. This is of no help right now. I just realized this is definitely not like, oh, go and buy these guys, because the names of these are like lost on me. But one of them's like a name of something with a forest. I don't know if it's like enchanted forest or something. Then there's a dragon's blood one, and there is another one that I think is called wizard something or something wizard. Those are my favorite ones from that other incense brand that I don't remember off the top of my head. Maybe one day I'll make a proper incense review video or something. But yeah, so I also use cones. So I use basically all kinds of different like incenses. I use resin, I use cone incense, I use stick incense. I also use like incense that's like rolled up crushed resin. They're like, I don't know if they're called resin sticks or something. So yeah, there's quite a few of them that I use. And I like to have incense going a lot. I'm burning incense or resin every single day in at least my room and the bathroom. That's just the way things go in my house. And it took a while for my family to get used to that, but they're used to it now. And now I think it's really funny when I see my dad turning on a little incense stick because he likes the way they smell. But yeah, that's incense.